Howdy, partners. Welcome back to my daily trading review for June 26th, 2025. Again, just for a recap, if you're new, it's really to hold myself accountable. What went right, what went wrong, how can we improve tomorrow? It's easy to get past a trading review as a trader and, not really reflect on any of that. So that's exactly what we'll be doing today. We did have a ceasefire announced between Iran and Israel. So the theme is kind of unknown because the last couple days it's been oil, it's been shippers. The strait will remain open, it sounds like. So that's great. And I think we just checked the price of oil. I assume it is down today on that news. And, well, would you look at that? Just kind of down and out. We'll see how that recovers. Maybe it does. And in one of our more recent videos, we talked about that. We're like, well, all these stocks are running. Who says one of them? But when this turns around, it's gonna die, and it's gonna die quick. And there's another, just to showcase that, right? World War III is happening. World War III is happening. No, it's not, right? So you can see just how aggressive that is and why you really do need to protect yourself, because it's, to be honest, peace is more likely than not. I know I want peace, right? What do you like? So no one wants war, and hopefully that doesn't re-escalate. So we don't really know the theme. Is what I mean to say. Is it going to go back to pharmaceuticals or crypto? I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Let's not be too aggressive about it, right? And then right out of the gates, NA. Nano Labs Limited announces that they're going to do 500 million convertible note placement for a BNB treasuries through the G, but this is a dilutive play. They have to raise this 500 million, and this is something we also talked about with the crypto plays for the treasuries is, do you have cash for this 500 million crypto? You're only worth 75 million. Where's this, other 400 plus million coming from? So, people see this news though, and they're like, it's so good. It's so good. And, this was so good. Look at this play in the morning. This is crazy. Yet, those preloaders, I don't know how they know, but they do, though. And, it's kind of popping up on scanners, but who's taking this, right? Then that news hits, and away we go. Let's just check out this as far as a percentage-based run. This is crazy at 163%. Did we take that as a trade? No, we did not. We just watched this go, and, I see the Treasury news, and I'm like, not having it. The dilution is bad. Like, you want to see what it says. This is always what I do for my news. Just I open up Stock Titan, throw it in the search bar, scroll down, click on the company, and then read the news. It's that easy. Give it a click. 12 hours ago, 12 hours now. It's later on in the day. Look at this. Notes mature in just 360 days. That's not good. Normally, these are like 10 years out in the future or something like this. Potential dilution, more like massive dilution when they're converted in only a year. No guarantee in closing, subject to customary conditions. I don't even know. That just sounds sketchy as all hell. Significant exposure to crypto, which is volatile. BNB is not bad. I think that's like a Binance token, right? Fairly decent. 500 million is huge. I always go to the negative first. 500 million is big boy, buco bucks. No interest on the notes is great, but only no interest for a year. So what are you going to do with that money? What if the market goes down for a year? Oh my God. Acquire 1 billion worth of it, which is massive. And they want to hold 5 to 10% of its supply, which is ambitious. So it's like some good things, but there's some bad things here I don't like. And you'll see, people most of the times are like, I'm just reading the good things. 500 million in crypto, it's only worth 70 million. Let's slap it up to 150. And that's exactly what they did. And then they realized that the company's going to be selling shares to do this. And it just breaks down hard, I may add. A near round trip experience. However, the company's going to come out and they're going to say, you know what? We bought a bunch of it. And then you'll see price improvement, right? So you can watch this. You can add this to a treasury-based watch list, and track the volume into the future, and maybe, you know, you can catch a run, you know, maybe get 20 to 35 again or something, right? That's, you know, that's good movement. Let's not spend too much time on this. IBIO, continuation from last night's news. There's the obesity drug. Last night, Afterhours Watchlist here, IBO presents next generation obesity and cardiometabolic pipeline candidates on June 24th, which was today. And, you know, so we're checking that out this morning. We seen it here last night doing its thing. That's where it's on our watch list. Boom, this morning gaps up, but dies. Holds the 200. Tries to reclaim. Ultimately can't, but breaks down, right? Buy the rumor, sell the news kind of deal. If it maybe, it just, there's some stuff happening today. So it didn't pan out super nicely. And then ONMD was, I believe, fresh play, 3.7 million in funding via PIPE, and then 11 million in reduction of liabilities and debt. Just, I mean, that doesn't sound bad, right? You know, making some money and reducing their debt along the way, pretty decent. Kind of broke down after, like, later in the day here, holding the 200, breaking down, right? We'll see how tomorrow goes with this. And then we can talk about our morning trades. We may as well talk about ONMD first, since it's here in our face. Some really nice trades for us today. And we were in on this early. I'm always so early on the ball because I watch the news scanner. I see the news, I'm in on it. Probably could have played this a little bit longer, but it is what it is, right? You can't always just be perfect. Just do your best. So here we are. You know, we see the news happen. We see it kind of fighting view up. And then this candle here is a reclaim with strength, right? Like this is a kind of a wick down, a little bit of a weaker. This is, you know, like a spinning knife. You don't really have much information here. There's some buyers, there's some sellers, right? But just holding view up ultimately. But here, just this expansion upwards, we love, right? So we enter in on the next candle just based on this candle here with a stop below the swing on these two, right? Easy. And then here's our 1-to-1, easily confirmed off that VWAP bounce. And then we get a 2-to-1, a 3-to-1, and even a 4-to-1. But we did not receive that crown trade, 5-to-1, unfortunately. I mean, it's just 5%, right? Just 5% of our runners that we didn't sell. Really nice, and it, you know, kind of made it downwards, an uptrend here. So you could have played that a little bit more into the morning, but it did break down, which is scary. I think I traded this in the morning too. Let's talk about it. It's on my bottom chart. So here we see a downtrend, right? And then we have it catching the 200, which is nice. Doesn't break down. And then we know that the EMAs have already been bearish here, and we've caught support. So there's a good chance we're going to reverse back up, and it's got really nice volume throughout the day. 30-day average is 16 million. We're trading 52. A little bit lighter than that in the morning, obviously, but still really good volume. And so we take entry, right, when the price breaks the 21 moving average. Stop loss is below, you know, this this wick here. Whoops. This lower wick support, I guess we could call it. This candle here. This is where we put our stop. And, you know, the rest is history. We get our 1-to-1, which is right before VWAP, which typically, like, you know, you expect this to reject here, right? But then it goes 2-to-1. We have our downtrend test, and you expect it to break down here as well. But what we get is our reversal signal set, right? We love that. So next thing we want to see here is a trend retest. And this candle touches VWAP, and we go. This candle touches the 21, and we go. So that's really nice. And even these catching our what was once point of rejection, now acting as a point of support on that downtrend. So a lot of confluence here for it to go further. And we get really lucky. We go all the way up to that final 5-to-1 trade, and it actually went as high as 6.66, which is pretty cool. So just another fantastic trade on this in the morning, just purely based on the technical setup, right? This is a news pop, a little bit more risky. This is a little bit more relaxed, much more technical, less kind of not that this is FOMO. We are still kind of going on a VWAP reclaim here. That risk is predetermined, so it's not really too FOMO, but this I'm much more comfortable with. It's got that morning volume. It pulls back, reverses, and then goes. So I like this play a lot in comparison to this. Not that this is bad. I obviously do them both and have a high hit rate with both. But if I had to pick one, and that was my morning. Those were my. Oh no, that was my day trade. What else did we have? ONMD, and that was on the top. So this was our second. Oh no, INM. And that's on the bottom, sorry. Beep, boop, bop. Similar thing here. We got that news pop. It just fires up. We see kind of break VWAP a little bit, but ultimately these wicks are showing a lot of buyers down here, just like there's sellers up here. We get in on VWAP, stop below the swing, scalp it up. It's not great. This is pretty dirty, pretty scummy, pretty scalpy, but what's nice about it is look how appropriate this stop loss is. It holds, right? We don't get stopped out here, and boom, we get a 2-to-1. That's a nice trade. Ideally, you'd be re-entering this, I guess, if you didn't have runners at the VWAP reclaim, right? Where, we're holding trend here and we claim VWAP, then we retest. So see when we retest, then we have this volumetric candle go off. That's because of the strength of the retest. It's like we're not breaking through, so we go. And then we get up a little bit more. Ultimately, we fail that 3-to-1, and we get stopped out, right? No buenos. It wanted it. It wanted it in the morning, but, it didn't get it. So that was that. Then our daily watch list. I guess we'll go through that. KLTO. This was the mouse drug, the longevity thing, but just no volume to support it. So, we can't make a trade on it. EYEN. What was going on here? This was like the 50 million private placement that closed yesterday. So that's like really moving off that. I think this was like, they're talking about buying like some crazy token too, though, which I didn't like. Like a hype token or something. And this hype crypto reserve, I'm not into this. Like, this isn't Bitcoin. It's not Ethereum. It's not even like a BNB or something, a Binance, or like, it's just like, what is this? I'm not into that at all. But sometimes the market is irrational and it liked it, so there you go. Get hyped up, kids. I think we actually did end up trading this though, so I should bite my tongue. NKTR is something I didn't trade that I definitely should have. Similar thing, massive news pop, sell off, but holds the 200. You get the reversal here, right? Here's our reversal off the 200. And then, test the 200 again, ultimately reclaims VWAP, that key level. It tries it, fails, tries, kind of fails again, but it holds trend the whole way while it's attempting to, and eventually does. And you get just super nice expansion off from that, right? So if you're on that reversal, you're in early. If you wait until confirmation on that VWAP claim, you still just a beautiful trade, right? Like, what is this? You wait. Could have had 35% still. If you're in early off that reversal, that's 50%. More risk, more reward though, right? Because that reversal may reject VWAP. You don't always know that it does hold and reclaim it with success, and that would be where you wait for confirmation. Less risk, less reward. Kind of our, we missed this. I just kind of got busy doing other stuff. ONMD, this was on the bottom. We already talked about that, didn't we? Yeah. That was that downtrend breakout. Really nice trade in the morning. And that's we didn't trade this because we were busy with this, right? You can't trade everything in the market. And look at the pattern, though. Look at the two patterns here, right? News pop up, retrace to 200 and go. News pop up, retrace to 200 and go. This kind of pre-popped almost before the 200, but man, it's kind of similar. And then iron, we did too. This is another beautiful trade. We see a reversal signal here, right? We love that. We let it set. We get in on the trend retest. Stop loss underneath the sell side liquidity. And, there might even been a entry off the market structure shift from earlier, which would have been over here, right? When we broke up here, this would have been the market structure shift. When we cleared this area here, would have been here. View uphold, right? That's super strong. And consolidation. Then we have our 2150 reversal, trend retest, right? And then there was an FVG here as well, which we can draw out just so you see it, right? From this candle to this candle, right? That was before we seen this, but right here is the activation, right? So we have this fair value gap, and then it activates and expands out, right? That's nice. It did retest and almost, like if you had your stop too low or like too high, I guess you could have got clicked out there. Not that our stop is on the fair value gap, our stop's down here on the sell side. But that's where we're taking that entry, is on the activation of that gap. So that was our day, right? Not too crazy, but super successful. No bad trades. I love it. And after hours, we have GNS, insider share buy, increased holdings by 10%. Seems substantial. And we started to scale out the long-term portfolio. ASTS, one of our biggest gainers so far. It's like 120%. We just added this like a couple weeks ago, 130%. So you betcha that we're going to start to scale out, just be, an appropriate trader on the one day. This thing is absolutely gone, right? We're at all-time highs, and I very much would expect a retest to 40 at the very least, but, see how we get so far away from the moving averages that we have to retest into them before we can go again. And we want to make sure that we start locking some of those profits while we're in this upward trajectory. Not selling much. I think I sold 10 shares today. 2 batches of 5. I know. Big seller, baby. Just driving the order book down. Yeah, we sold 5 at 21 or 51.20. I'm not dyslexic, you are. Anyways, so we're starting to scale out some of our winners, starting to increase, some of the losers, if you will, to average them down, that we're still bullish on. We still believe in them, right? As far as GameStop goes, we've got some stuff for you there. Not really doing anything price-wise, but we do have the notes coming through a little early. They had until the 30th, I believe, to do the extra 450 million. But they're done that earlier today on the 24th. 28.91 per share, premium of 32.5 over the current price. So a lot of upside here potentially for some longs. And I like to use a little leverage on my GameStop plays, as anyone does. Let's check the IV. We're 1%. So the IV's really only been lower than this 1% of the time, which is fantastic. So, we want to buy some in-the-money leaps, some Januaries, maybe even some Junes for next year would be ideal. But if you had to go earlier in, maybe you could do October. I wouldn't go earlier than October. You might have to roll the Octobers until January if we don't really see much price improvement. I'm pretty sure we will, but I can't tell the future. I can only tell the right now, which is this historical IV percentile at 1, which is great. And, current IV on the 30 days, 54. Our average 62, so very much below that. Our 52-week average, if you're buying those leaps, 89. Pretty high, right? Considering, we're down here at 54. So some definite room for improvement there, IV-wise. The low, 53. So we're basically at the 52-week low, IV. So, it's, I think, a good time to start loading those contracts. The longer dated ones, though, right? Because we are close to earnings. And, you don't want to get theta burnt, right, while we wait and trade sideways. So I also did a bit of a GME trading strategy just for myself to kind of hammer home all my different entries and exits. Entry indicator on low volatility, right? Like I just explained, look at the percentile rank, market chameleon here. Also, the earnings cycle, I like to enter, maybe about 20 days before earnings with some in the money calls. Just sell on the, the earnings run up, right? Sell the hype, sell before earnings. You don't want to hold them through, but that's on the exits. Buy the rumor. GameStop's rumored to be buying Bitcoin before. Now they're rumored to be kind of transforming their stores into collectible hubs. Not that that's a crazy good rumor by any means, but buy the rumor, sell the news. Then we have our exit indicators, earnings. You want to scale out on the days leading into earnings. GameStop likes to dump on earnings. They like to do these note offerings now, apparently, after earnings. Earnings also has the FOMO run-up. Could be good if, earnings is crazy. Hold lottos. You don't have to sell your whole position, but you definitely want to be selling 90% of those options so you don't get slammed by IV crush. It'll happen, and, you can scale out some shares as you see fit as well. Scalp around your core position. A volumetric event. We hit 100 million volume. You better be scaling out because this isn't a regular occurrence. Take advantage of it. Share or note offering. Going to happen after hours. This is why it's important to scale out your options while they're green because you can't sell those after hours and you will get absolutely melted on those option contracts. You can sell your shares after hours, pre-market, sell them immediately, exit 90%. For me, maybe 70% for you, but the majority, get rid of them and just buy them back. You can buy them back minutes later, hours later, or the next day. Don't wait too long, though. You probably only have a week. All right, sell the news. If they announce Bitcoin purchase or, the collectible store upgrade, it's going to pop. There's going to be a little bit of hype there. Sell it. Sell that hype and buy it back later. Daily bearish reversal signal. Get out of this. When your EMAs reverse, you don't like it. However, recently, GameStop's been doing, and I can show you this, these offerings. So the downs all hit. Let's go to our 1 day here. Get all zoomed in comfortably. Oh, there's a bullish reversal. But we do have our bearish here. Whoops. Oh, and this extension is like that hit today, so we can delete that. So we see a reversal hit here, the bearish reversal, but it's only reversing because A, it's a lagging indicator, and B, we had such a gross move down from that note offering. So when it reverses, you're probably already at low and don't want to use that as your exit signal unless it's not something like this. If it's just general market, then yeah, then you're going to want to get out because it's not going to reverse back. But, here's a good example of that where we just, this is just general market structure. We've got our bearish reversal kind of at the low. We retrace back, but we fail to reclaim it and bleed way down, right? So you could wait till a reclaim and see if we fail to retrace back down to pull the ripcord, But just it's not as like high conviction, as the others, right? Specifically when you're in it for more of a long term thing. And then like we can take entries on the daily bullish reversal signal too, which is the opposite of that, which we had here, right? So we see this reversal hit. We can enter here, which is not great, or we can wait till the trend retest, which we do get here after the reversal, right? Just like we would wait to exit until a trend retest post reversal here, right? We'd want to sell on the retest if it starts to break down, just like we'd want to buy on the retest as it breaks up, right? And you do get just wicked expansion there off that. So those daily reversal signals, we love to use those as well. Strategy is going to rely on GameStop's earning and Bitcoin acquisition that they're doing, that cycle, as well as their earnings, which no one can really stop. Just the continuation of volatility. The swap volume, Kitty tweets, an added bonus that we, don't really need, but we always love when they hit. And what this is going to do, utilizing all of this, is it allows us to maintain exposure in a positive fashion, right? Keeping our trades green, pulling away when we need to pull away, coming back when we need to come back, and maintaining as much exposure as possible in case we do get a volumetric event or something to happen that we can capitalize off of, right? So I've just been playing with GameStop a long time. It's kind of my niche, where I love to be, and what I love to do. It's our worst position in our long-term portfolio, but I know it'll be our best. Isn't that funny? Speaking on that, the long-term portfolio is doing really well today. We started to scale out, like we mentioned, up to 7.7 thousand in just like a few weeks. So this is really cruising almost 10%. I guess that'd be 7.7%. We started with 100, right? Oh, I guess 8.4. We actually have a few positive trades realized already. And like I said, GameStop's our biggest loser, but let's wait and see how that one pans out, right? What I'm mostly worried about here is Tesla. I'm mostly worried about Tesla. I'm mostly worried about AI, which is Tesla's AI companies. The rest, I'm pretty happy with. I'm just curious to see where this goes throughout the rest of the year. Of course, if the general market does turn back on us, which we'll look at now, then we'll start to scale that out. So, SPY today was just absolutely crazy, right? So, the same pattern as always yesterday. With the rip, the dip, but then we had like the news of peace in the Middle East, which just sent things crazy. Ceasefire announced last night, super sent things crazy. And then today, just more of the same, just total trend day. If we look at this on the 1 day, we just slayed our downtrend. Like this was kind of that scary zone, and I've been thinking, I think we go down. I think we check out these other supports, and every day they get higher and higher. All right, and even if we do test them, testing them up here is not like testing it down here anymore, right? Because now the up here is where this was before. So, dang, market go burr, baby. I'm okay with it. I'm game. I really thought we were going to get another retracement. Like, we have our reversal. Where's the trend retracement? It's just too strong. Like, you're going to argue that the 21 is the trend retracement and it's just going to hold the 21 the whole time? You know how strong that is? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So I guess that's my day. Thank you for hanging out. We kind of talked about our daily trades. There's a lot of high relative volume, small market cap. If you can pair that with a catalyst, news, substantial news, not fluff news, you'll do really well for yourself. And then, try to time that entry model. It's not just what you trade, it's when you get into the trade, the reversal signal, the VWAP reclaim, the breakout entry, maybe it's a fair value gap, or the gap fill strategy if it's halting up or something. Lots of different entry models, and we're going to continue to explain more and learn more, and all of this. So just the very beginning of a long journey to help me stay sane. It's nice to review It's maybe be nice to meet some friends along the way as well. You know, training's kind of a loner occupation, I guess. So, you know, be nice to meet some of you all as well, and hopefully help you along your journey. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you around. A lot of these trades are actually executed live on my my Twitch as well. Sometimes I have to pop off for a call, but a lot of the trades we do live as well if you really want to see them. But you know, you can't. I'm live for like 10 plus hours a day. So I can't, like, I make 3 minutes worth of trades. You know, I can't go back and, you know, upload that whole video. That's crazy, right? So we just do the review instead. And if anyone wants to hang out, they can hang out. If you know, I watch Star Wars all day today. You know, that was my day. So yeah, it's probably not super entertaining for everybody. And but you know, it gets me through the day, right? And then I'm always aware, I'm always active, I'm always here, and that's the key part. And then we can get all of this distilled for you. So have a great day. I'll see you soon in the next. Take care.